Okay, so when someone says like Easter, right?
Mhm.
What comes to your mind first?
Yeah.
Is it like baskets with the fake grass and like the candy and
Well,
stuff? Or like maybe a bunny rabbit?
yeah.
Like those are all fun,
For sure.
but I think this year
Yeah.
we want to go like a little deeper,
Okay.
like a little more profound.
Right.
So we're doing a deep dive
I like it.
on Easter.
Okay.
And we're going to be using this article that you found
Mm-hmm.
as like our guide.
Awesome.
And so I think we have to start with
Okay.
resurrection. Like
Yeah.
that's like
A big one.
it's like rising from the dead,
Right.
victory over death,
Yeah.
eternal life, all that stuff.
It's heavy stuff.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So is that like,
Yeah.
what do people actually believe?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, is it literal or is it more
Mhm.
metaphorical?
So you're right on with that. It's definitely a core belief for a lot of people. But rising from the dead can also be metaphorical.
I see.
Right.
Right.
Even outside of religion, we use that.
Right.
Like all the time. Like
Yeah.
if you're recovering from something, like a loss, or you make a big change in your life, it's
Yeah.
kind of like
It's like you're a new person.
like you're a new person.
Yeah.
You're starting a new chapter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So new life, new life,
New life.
which makes sense because
Yeah.
Easter's in the spring
Exactly.
when everything's like,
nature's being resurrected.
yes.
Yes.
And this article mentions
Okay.
reflecting on your life,
Okay.
being thankful for what you have,
Mhm.
embracing new beginnings.
Right.
It's like,
Sounds like
it's a to-do list.
yeah.
A spiritual checklist.
It's very self-helpy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 5 steps to a more awakened,
Yeah. But you're on to something. It's not just about like checking the box.
Yeah.
It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
The article talks about a spiritual awakening. It can be a big change in how you see things,
Interesting.
and that can lead to positive changes.
Okay.
But it's not just about it's about connecting. It's about purpose.
I see.
Like you're part of something bigger.
Changes how you see the world.
Exactly.
Right.
And yourself,
Yeah.
like a deeper meaning.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And it mentions in the article
Oh.
about celebrating with other people.
Yeah.
Like, is that just
right.
tradition
Mm-hmm.
or is there something more?
That's a good question. Yeah, it's not just you by yourself. You're celebrating with people.
Right. Like a community.
Exactly. And that can be really powerful. It's like when everyone's singing at a concert.
Yeah. It's like a shared energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And it can be really inspiring too. Like we're all in this together. And that ties into the sacrifice part of Easter.
Oh, right. Like with Jesus.
Yeah, the article talks about how he sacrificed himself.
And that's like a selfless act for the greater good.
Right. And it makes you think about how you can do that in your own life.
Yeah. Like, how can we be more selfless and loving?
Exactly.
So we've got resurrection, new beginnings, community, sacrifice. That's a lot.
It's all connected.
Like a whole tapestry.
Yeah.
And it's something everyone can relate to.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
a universal human experience.
It's not just an intellectual idea. It's about like actually living it.
Right. Like, how do we put this into practice?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the article talks about reflection.
Okay. So like thinking about it.
More than that, it's about asking yourself the tough questions.
Ooh, like,
Like, where do you need a fresh start?
okay.
What needs to change?
Wow.
What are you holding on to that you need to let go of?
So it's like looking inward. What about outward? Like, what do we actually do?
The article mentions going to services or gatherings.
Okay. So like church.
It could be, but it doesn't have to be. It's more about connecting with people who share your values.
Okay.
Like celebrating together.
Yeah.
It amplifies the experience.
Right. Because when you share it with others, it's like
a ripple effect.
I love that.
Yeah, it spreads outwards.
So it's like you're not just doing it for yourself.
Exactly.
It's about something bigger.
Yeah.
What about gratitude? The article mentions that too.
Oh, yeah. Gratitude is huge.
It's like being thankful for what you have.
Right. Even the small things.
It's like that saying, gratitude turns what we have into enough.
Yes.
Because you focus on what you have instead of what you don't.
Exactly. And that can be really empowering. It helps you be more open to new possibilities.
Which is what Easter's all about.
Exactly.
Like you're opening yourself up to new things.
Exactly.
But it's hard sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because life can be tough.
It's true.
And sometimes you need a new beginning,
right.
but it's hard to get there.
It can be. Yeah.
It's like you said, life throws curveballs.
Yeah. And it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
But even then, even when things are hard, they're still good.
Yeah, there's always hope.
Like a seed in the ground.
That's a good way to put it.
It needs the darkness to grow.
Exactly.
And then it blooms.
It's like a resurrection.
It is.
Like Easter.
So how do we do that? Like, how do we find that resilience
Well, it takes faith.
Like religious faith.
It can be that, but it's also about believing in yourself.
Okay.
Trusting that things will work out.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard.
And that's where those practices come in. The reflection, the gratitude,
That'll help.
the community.
Exactly.
It's like a toolkit.
I like that.
And you can use those tools whenever you need them.
It's about taking care of yourself.
And it's a process.
Right.
It's not like you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm spiritually enlightened.
It takes time and effort.
But it's worth it.
It is.
This has been great.
Yeah, it has.
We've talked about so much.
From bunnies to resurrection, it's all connected.
So after this deep dive, do you look at those Easter eggs differently?
That's a good question for our listeners.
Yeah, what do you think?
What if you looked at your own life through the lens of Easter?
Like, where do you need a fresh start?
Exactly.
Or a deeper connection with something?
It's not just an ancient story. It's happening right now.
That's a great point. It's like Easter is every day.
In a way. Yeah.
And it's never too late to start over.
Never too late.
That's a good reminder.
Thanks for having me.
This was awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody.